Hello and welcome to Good Games Well Played, episode 228. I'm Clint, aka JCM. With us this week is Messiah,
Hello.
and Izzy's out doing family stuff, so he will
Boo.
not be joining. I don't know if he's played anything new they can talk about, but it kind of it's all right. I mean, there's not a lot that happened this week. I was looking at the news. I'm like, it's all just like small stuff that it's not really worth discussing. I guess like there was a news bit about how the Wachowskis wanted to have Hideo Kojima make a Matrix video game back in the day, but Konami turned it down. And then Kojima saw the report on socials and was like, "I had no idea that would have happened." But he was like in the middle of working on Metal Gear Solid 2, so it's like not much gonna happen. And it's like also it's like it's the PS2 era, right? It's like how good would have a a Matrix game been back
Uh-huh.
in that era, you know what I mean? And eventually they had Enter the Matrix, which was a decent game. I remember playing it, but yeah, it's like okay, a game that possibly could have been, but what would that have been like in that, 2000, 2001 PS2 era, like, probably not super great.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, Metal Gear was good, but yeah, it's
yeah,
completely
but
different.
like a Matrix, it's like you have to do, like, all that kung fu and the guns, and then you probably, like, what else are you gonna do? Like, how good would that game have been
Right.
possibly have been, but, yeah, who knows? And then we did have the season 1 for Battlefield 6, which launched their battle royale mode came out this week. I haven't had a chance to play it myself because there's no solo queue. There's only duos and squads right now, so I haven't played it yet, so I can't speak to how it feels based on my experience with a bunch of the other battle royals that have been out, over the past couple years. There was a news bit about how Remedy's CEO is stepping down amid Firebreak's weak performance, which was interesting. Like, normally, companies don't do that. They let go a bunch of people to fix the situation. They don't It's like the CEO is like, "Oh, I gotta step down because this didn't do well."
Mhm.
So that happened, and then there's also more news about the Nintendo and Pokemon companies' monster capture patent being rejected for POW World and yada yada. It's like, okay, so that's like still ongoing, but there's not like a lot of news that happened this week that was significant. There's just a lot of game releases and yeah, not much in the way of like big news worth talking about that at least would make sense to us. Like, I would speak more to the Battlefield Battle Royale mode in what we're playing if I played it, but, like, everything else is just like, okay, little bits, but nothing really to talk about. It's kind of
Mhm.
a quiet time, right now. It's which makes sense. It's kinda like the end of the year. There was something about from Jason Schreier, on Bloomberg. I wish I remember I didn't save it because I know he had that bit about the we talked last week about Microsoft wanting to do that 30% profit, but there was something else. Let me see if I can find what it was. Because the problem is, like, when he tweets about or, like, posts on Blue Sky about it, I don't always save it there. I'm like, "Okay," I wait for someone else to pick it up. Um, it was about how, there's this yeah, so he in a Blue Sky post, he said, "Breaking yesterday, Grand Theft Auto maker Rockstar Games fired dozens of people, all of whom were involved in union efforts." And the British Union calls it blatant and ruthless union busting, and Take-Two Interactive says it was due to, quote, "misconduct." So it's like, alright, that
Mm.
seems pretty like, really? You had, like, 30, 40 people involved in misconduct? Like like, I mean, unless it's like they were pushing for a union, but they were being, like, really brutish about it with the other employees, like, okay, I could
Mhm.
see that. Like, it's fine to unionize, but, like, when you're just being, like, a total asshole, I'm not saying again, not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying, like, okay, I could see if that was being, like, you know, going on, or they were like because if it's 30, 40 people, maybe there could be people, like, on their team who are just kinda, like, on the fence or just, like, "I don't wanna rock the boat," or whatever, and they're like then they ostracize that person, you know what I mean? Which is,
Yeah.
like, totally that the training you get for, you're not you shouldn't do that to employees based on race, gender, sexuality, yada yada, but like this is being around this thing. It's like, yeah, it's kind of still falls in that window of don't be dicks to employees. That's a hostile work environment. Uh, so we'll see if whatever comes out of that. But that's like that was just a bit that kind of popped up. But yeah, there's not a ton of stuff that happened. Big layoffs at Amazon for they're cutting like 30,000 corporate jobs, a bunch of for their video game division, which hasn't been doing well. But yeah, it's I saw a snippet saying how they were trying to compete with Epic or with against Steam, and, like, when were you guys ever trying to compete with Steam? Like, what? How? That's impossible, like and it was just this LinkedIn post about someone saying, uh, based around these firing news, being like, "Oh, yeah, we thought, oh, people always have an Amazon account, so they'll join us and get our games here." It's like, no, you have so much more, such a longer time. Like, you just Steam snowballed over the years. It's like it's gonna
Uh-huh.
be hard to compete. But yeah. Anyways, not a whole lot of stuff. Um, so we can basically just jump into what we've been playing. I'm gonna start with you. I see that you're playing a new game according to Discord. What are you playing?
I don't know how to pronounce it. Necesse? I don't know. It's well, the initial vibe I got from it when Michael showed it to me was like Core Keeper, but above ground. You can also go underground. The more that I'm playing it, it's got a whole like settlement base management like component to it. There's like NPCs that you can get to join you. They can go like fight with you. You have to keep them happy. I we literally just started it like an hour ago. He showed it to me and I was like, "Oh, it's cute. It's pixely and it kind of reminds me of Core Keeper." Which yes, basically, but now that we have this like I put a little flag down. It's got my little picture on it. It's very cute, but it also opens this menu of like here's all of the things you have to manage for your settlement and inviting people to the settlement and keeping them happy and fed and assigning them beds. And I was like, oh god, I gotta close this menu. But yeah, it's we've only been playing it for an hour. I have a pet bear already. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it's seems really neat. We just have to like it seems like playing it by yourself would be very overwhelming. So it seems very geared toward multiplayer, like dividing up tasks and managing the settlement and everything like that.
Hmm.
But I mean, I made the settlement and Michael had to join it. So I guess like if we ever get in an argument, he could probably just leave the settlement and go make his own because there is like a PvP component to it.
Yeah,
So be killed by a
interesting.
zombie, have to go inside.
I see that they're
But yeah, it's
bundled
like
with Core Keeper on Steam.
yeah, it's like it's not the same dev. I think that's just Steam being like, "Hey,
Yeah,
if you like this, you can also play this," and it's basically the same thing. But
they
yeah,
bundled it
it's
with Power
kind of
World.
the same. I've already found like several quality of life things that I really like. Like you can open your inventory and there's an auto sort function, but there is also a function for you to like lock an item so that you put it in a spot and then lock it and it doesn't get auto sorted.
Nice.
So that's like very cool. And it does the thing that Core Keeper does where you can put things in boxes like nearby crafting stations and it'll use the stuff that's in the boxes so you don't have to carry
Hmm.
things with you and just all kinds of like really cool quality of life stuff that I've noticed so far. But yeah, like I said, we've only been playing for about, I don't know, like 30 minutes, an hour or so. Um, but it's really cool so far. I think we're going to waste a lot of time in it, which is
Yes.
slightly unfortunate because I am going out of the country in a couple weeks, but
Yeah.
we'll play it as much as we can until then.
Yeah, I see that it just hit 1.0,
Yeah.
well, on the 16th, so it's been in, like, early access. I think the trailer said for 6 years or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's got an infinite procedurally generated world, which is interesting. And I see they have a lot of end-game stuff they talk about in here. A vast end-game incursion system. Incursion system's an interesting word to describe a
I don't
skill
know about
tree,
any of
looks
that.
like. But, I am seeing a lot of eight-legged buddies in here in this trailer.
Yeah, Michael's gonna do all of that.
Yeah.
He's gonna find that. I'm gonna gear him up and he's gonna go do it by himself.
Yeah, I'm watching it, I'm like, I'm not sure how I feel about the combat because 'cause I'm like, I'm watching, like, the trailer, and some scenes kinda remind me of Vampire Survivors,
Mhm.
which to me just looks like screen vomit. Like, I get
Mess.
why people like it because it's like one step back from an auto battler. It's like, just move the stick and shit
Mhm.
happens. And I'm like, "Okay, I could see how this is fun." Not for me. But I'm trying to see because like, compared to because I was trying to compare it to Core Keeper, like, okay, I know what Core Keeper's like. Let's see how it looks. And it's interesting, the look gives me, like, Game Boy, like, or I don't know. It's like a step like, however Stardew Valley looks, it's like
Mhm.
one retro step back, I guess,
Yeah, it's
to
like slightly less pixels. Like
yeah,
if Stardew Valley is like 64 by 64, this is 32 by 32.
yeah,
Yeah, it's very the combat so far is very similar to Stardew Valley and Core Keeper. I mean, Michael already found a gun, so I
mhm,
imagine it does get very like bullet hell Vampire Survivors-esque, especially with boss battles and stuff like that, but, I mean, I have a boomerang right now, and that's pretty fun. Bounces off stuff.
Yeah, this
You
definitely
just,
seems
like
like a multiplayer game that you'd wanna play with
yeah.
friends. I've got a I
I imagine you could it probably is very fun on your own, but like I said, with, like, the base management component to it now, it's like I would probably only play this on my own after many, many, many hours of playing it with other
Mhm.
people because it's just like I opened the settlement menu and was like, "I'm closing that immediately. I don't know what any of that is. I don't wanna deal with it. I'm just gonna go
Yeah.
pet a cow."
Yeah. It's funny, I'm looking at it's like, "Is this game relevant to you?" It's like, "Similar to games you've played, Icarus and Satisfactory." I'm like, "Well, yeah, because it's you build and you do open world stuff," but I'm like, that's where I get
Mhm.
it's like, that's it." But yeah, I mean, it looks I'm looking at, like, going through the whole Steam page, like, going through dungeons, and if it's, like, an infinite world, that could be interesting. I'm just curious, like, at what
Mhm.
point does it become like? Because I think even a game like Factorio, the map is technically goes on forever. You just have to keep exploring. But
Mhm.
then I think the way they kinda gate that is just having more and more bugs. So I'm curious, like, okay, if you just or like Minecraft, you keep going. At what point is it like, all right, is there fast travel mechanics? Can you make like a portal to places? And then it's like, is it worth going out just heading to the horizon? Like what
Right.
yeah, it's like, okay, how it's like it's fun to have an infinite procedural genre because then it's like it allows for at least the times when you do go in one direction, just by happenstance. It's like, okay, you don't get blocked off. Not necessarily that you're going to do, let's just go 360 degrees and get explore like as much map as possible. It's just like it's nice to where you can kind of go one way. It's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna especially playing multiplayer. It's like, hey, let's just go explore for the day. Okay, I'm gonna go this way, you go that way, kind of split
Yeah.
off. But
I mean,
uh
that's basically what we're doing now is there is like an underground component to it. It kind of starts you off with like a base settlement, so you're not just like dropped into the world and don't know what's happening. You get like a tutorial NPC that's already like part of your little settlement. He like helps you fight and he has like information and stuff like that. And you have like a little basic house with like a tunnel underground. So it's like you can already go down basically into the mines and start doing stuff there if you want to, which is basically what he's doing right now. He's just wandering around. But and it does give you kind of like starter items. It gives you these two little like map items and you can
mhm,
use them and it'll show you points of interest on the map and it like pins them. So right now, like very, very, very far away from us, I have a pin that says it's a like an NPC village. So it's like I already have a goal if I want to. I don't have to just like wander. There's like I can find things on the way there or I can just go do something else if I want to. So it's kind of nice. Like it's a nice quality of life thing where it does just kind of like it does that thing that I like where it just drops you into the world and you just start
mhm,
doing stuff and it'll kind of
yeah,
like give you tips and tutorials like as you're doing things and it'll kind of guide you a little bit. But also if you want to just wander around and figure things out on your own, you can do that too. There's not like an extensive crazy tutorial. You're just like you're in a world, but if you need a little bit of guidance, here are things for you that kind of help you out and guide you a little bit. And we've started kind of like a little base for you so you can get a feel for it if you want to. So I don't know. It's pretty nice. I like it so far. We'll waste many, many hours in this just like we did Core Keeper. So it's pretty nice. And it's very cute. I like the art, the pixel art. I found bees already. I really like bees. Found a duck. Very nice.
nice. Yeah, I'd be curious to see what it looks like not on the Steam page and like in like what it looks like on a 4K monitor because that's
Hmm.
sometimes they'll see, especially games when they have this art style, like the compression on the Steam page. It's like okay, it's almost like you're watching 720p on a 4K monitor because they got to make sure they have the bandwidth for it. And it's
Hmm.
like maybe it would look better because I'm watching like it's like oh playing a dedicated server with hundreds of players. I'm like that's too many players, and then I'm watching like the just screen vomit of these people spitting out like, "Oh my god, it's too much." Like, there's these ice swirls and these laser beams and numbers are flying up. I'm like, I couldn't imagine playing this with, like, a handful of people with these and obviously, this is, like, probably advanced builds and shit like that, but
Yeah.
it's just, like, it's so much. Like,
It
it's
shows you like it's really cool because it shows you like the potential and then you get in the game, you're like, I have a boomerang.
yeah,
I throw my
yeah,
boomerang and it bounces off the zombies. So it's like it's nice that it has that potential, but it doesn't start you off in like green vomit land.
yeah, yeah, for sure. It's
That's kind
something
of
like, I'm
cool.
not a god yet. I just got the little itty bitty stuff, but,
Mhm.
uh, yeah, there's just so much going on. I feel
Mhm.
like I'd get mind flooded. I'd be like, "Man," but yeah, online's got online PvP as well, I see.
Mhm. So yeah,
That's
I'm thinking
interesting.
like because it
Can
gives
you
you this little settlement flag, but you could probably make your own. You could probably like make your own settlements in different parts of the world and like fight other people, like kind of Rust-ish, I guess, where it's like
okay, so
if there's like a big public server, you could probably join it and do it that way or something like that. So
yeah.
that's kind of nice had to have that potential there. If you want to like if you want to have a PvP server with friends, you all start at the same time and then branch off and make your own settlements and stuff like that. So that's a pretty cool way to like add replayability to a game like this.
I just wanna maybe be like that Metal Gear Solid 5 situation where you just go invade someone's little town and steal their resources and shit.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it seems like it.
Oh, interesting.
Very
Well,
cute.
hopefully I mean, you guys put a lot of time into Core Keeper, I imagine you'll probably put a lot of time into this.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yep. What was that name of the game? We never played it together. Was it Fall of Asgard? What was it? It was like, it was on PlayStation. God, I wish I knew what it was called.
Oh, Tribes of Midgard?
Tribes of Midgard, there we go. Close
Yeah,
enough.
like it's like a base defense.
Yeah, Tribes of Midgard. Yeah, because we wanted to play that. I don't think it had crossplay at the time,
Mhm.
but that was like I wish I had gotten that because the problem I had with it was I was playing the PS4 version on PS5, but there was this like visual glitch when the game first launched, and I just couldn't play it. Like it would
Oh.
and I remember recording it, like, you could s it wasn't, like, just on the TV, like, I could record the footage and you could see it in the playback. So it was, like, this weird problem where there was something wrong with the PS4 version being played on a PS5. And it was just like, yeah, it's like, I couldn't understand because I think it was either I don't remember if I got it as part of PlayStation Plus, but the PlayStation Plus was only the PS4 version? I don't recall, but, yeah, it was just, like, that was a game because it's another, like, defense, build, explore, but it was multiplayer, and we thought like, "Oh, that'd be fun to play," but I just never got around to actually be able
Mhm.
to play it because of those performance issues, but,
Yeah,
um
it had quite a bit of stuttering on the PC version. I don't know if that was just because my computer at the time was like just not handling it very well. But yeah, we played that quite a bit. Michael did play it a lot more than I did. Um, and then we went back and played it again when they had like a big update, I think it was a while ago. But yeah, it was fun. It's just not really my type of game because I like perpetual world type of things. Like if we get run over and die, I don't want to start all over again.
Yeah, yeah.
So not like my type of thing, but it was fun. I like running around and exploring and running into bosses on accident and that kind of stuff. But yeah, the tower defense like portion of it, I kind of just left it to everybody else to do, and I was just like, I'm gonna leave actually.
Yeah, like, I'm out. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been playing too much. I finished the Lake House DLC for Alan Wake 2. I talked about it last week, with Isley. I was only early stages, but I beat it in, like, I think 3 streams. I only played it when I was streaming. But yeah, that was I really enjoyed the DLC. I didn't realize it was taking place, like, essentially during like, parallel to the events of the early bits of Alan Wake 2, because I
Mm.
forgot it's been so long since I played, I didn't realize that the main character playing as that she's the FBC agent that meets up with Saga Anderson, uh, at Brightfall, which happens, like, after the first couple chapters, I think, like, you end up talking with her, she meets up with them, yada, yada, and 'cause, when the game starts, like, it sounds like she's talking to Saga Anderson, I'm like, "Oh, is this, like, her writing to Saga about what happened?" It's like, "Oh, no, no, this is, like, her telling the story, which you didn't see in Alan Wake 2's the base game, but this is, like, kind of filling in that gap of what they talked about at the police station. It's like, oh, she's telling her like, "Oh, before I got here, this thing happened, and I saw an image of Alan Wake and yada yada." But I really like the DLC. I thought it was really good because it was like again these two FBC scientists who are trying to they're at the lake at Bright Falls. Is it called Bright Falls? Yeah, and they're trying to use the power of the threshold there by imitating Alan Wake's writing. Or just trying to do it with any art in general, but, like, we know Alan Wake can do it, and, like, I don't because he's a para-utilitarian, but I don't know how we gotta try to mimic his, and they're trying to do different ways, like, they tried poetry, they tried music, like, any artwork that would elicit emotion, and then one person kinda settles on they go one project where they wanna just recreate his writing. It's essentially like using AI to recreate Alan Wake's writing, that are, like they bought a bunch of the like, hundreds of the same typewriter he uses, and they have this computer trying to automate it and recreate his style by analyzing his pages, which is feeding his shit into generative AI, essentially. And then it slowly starts to work, and the other guy, the husband, is like his whole thing, he wants to do art, and he's like they keep kidnapping people who are, like, artists and whatnot to try to make them do this stuff, and they kidnap this one artist, and they're like he's pushing him and pushing him and pushing him, and the guy ends up, like, killing himself by just painting like, his paintings start to elicit this power, with the threshold, and then he gets so tired of being there as a prisoner, and he just throws himself into his canvas and just kills himself like that by just smashing himself against it, and it essentially gets, like, absorbed into the canvas, and then so there's, like that works, but the only reason that works is because the Alan Wake imitation writing starts to work, but because Alan Wake's writing is dark, it's not like happy playtime stories, it starts to write about how the couples start to get in a fight, diverge, distrust each other, how the painting guy starts to work, how things start to go wrong. So it starts to work, but it destroys the whole facility essentially by like people start dying and the shadow gets out essentially from the threshold. The and it's like it was pretty crazy. It's like you messed up. You fucked up by trying to you did what you wanted to do, but you didn't think you're too busy wondering if you could, you didn't stop to think if you should situation. So, but I love that idea though. It's like, oh, we wanna harness it, but in the attempts to do so, you just unleash the power. It was really fascinating. And then but there was like this so there's you're fighting both the monsters. You're fighting the shadows from the base game, which are driven by the writing because they unleashed a shadow, the shadow there. So you fight those creatures, but then the painting guy has his own bits where like these painting monsters come out of the canvases that he was working on previously before he died, but they like pop out of nowhere. And the downside is I knew that they existed, but I kind of thought maybe they'd be like the stalkers in Last of Us Part 2 when you're in the hotel as Abby, where you can see them in the wall and you could tell like even though they don't have that classic PS2, PS3 style lighting where you know they're gonna move, you could just tell like this one's gonna come out the wall and get me. Um, and I was hoping with the painting monsters, like you could tell when they would come out of the paintings to kind of judge it. Because another problem I had with those guys is whenever I was like running down a tight corridor, there's lots of sections where those paintings are fucking everywhere. So you have to run by them. And you can hear like the painting like squelch and squish. So you know like he's there fucking with me. He's somewhere.
You
And then I, like, turn a corner, but the fucker, like, just jumps out, and when he doesn't, like, have an animation where he comes out first and then attacks, like, if you're next to the wall that they come out of, they'll grab you, and I'm like, "Okay, that's fine," but, like, if I'm turning a corner where I can't take it with a wide berth, it's like, then they're gonna get me, and it's like, that was the only downside I had, and you can't attack them early on, you have to get, like, a special gun to do so, but it was really fun. I really enjoyed, the DLC. It was fun to be back in that world, because you still because they were faking the Alan Wake writing, like, you still had that Alan Wake voiceover stuff from the base game, which I thought was a lot of fun, and there's just a yeah, a lot of fun stuff. There's this funny bit where I found this wall of this, like, whiteboard where they were writing notes when they were trying to look for a writer, or they're trying to look for early days of looking for an artist, to help do this project, because they wanted someone to write first before they started having the machines do it. And like, and the one lady's like, she's like, "Oh, but we don't want a left leaning writer because what if they start writing something that comes true there? Maybe can we find a right wing writer?" And
oh
I
my
was like,
god.
"Oh, what are you worried about? Some writing some woke stuff?" And then everybody got universal health care, and then it comes true because the power of the the darkness and whatnot. Like I thought it was so
Everybody had
funny.
universal basic income and
Right,
everybody was happy.
that's what I said, in the bit. I was laughing about it because like, they're worried about a left-leaning person writing this art and stuff. I thought it was just so funny, and then I got attacked by the wall monster. He killed me after I was done making fun of it, but, yeah, I just thought that was so funny. I was like, "Oh, we can't have that happen."
Oh my
But,
god.
it was a good bit. But yeah, I really enjoyed the DLC. I thought it was a lot of fun. I wish the final fight was a little different. It's just kinda basic. Shoot the person till they die. not that I expected to be super crazy, but there's like they did some clever stuff in the base game with light because light was obviously how you defeat the shadow um, guys. So there's some fights where you can like manipulate certain lights and whatnot. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with that overall. But yeah, other than that, I haven't played much. I like I said, I want to play. I haven't played more Battle or Borderlands. My cousin's been busy, so couldn't play with him on anything. And then I want to play the battle royale for Battlefield 6, but I just haven't had a chance to. Maybe once my cousin uh, finishes Borderlands 4 because he's playing it on his own out, and then going back and playing co-op with me when I play it. Hopefully, we'll play it at some point there. And then Arc Raiders did come out, and I do want to play Arc Raiders, which is like a third-person extraction shooter, but not hardcore like Tarkov. And it sounds like I like the lore of it. It's like, oh, it's by the people that did the finals, which is a bunch of ex Dice folks and some other people. And the finals is like really popular. And I played a little bit of it, but I didn't play too much on PC because it was and I think they had some cheater issues for a while there, which was like the problem with a lot of free to play competitive shooters on PC is they always usually have
Mhm.
cheaters. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, so it's like it's that team who did the finals. They're doing this, and like the lore is like the world's been taken over by I think it's Earth, but it's like taken over by robots, and people live in like these arcs, or these underground, call 'em vaults, like underground cities, and they go up to the surface to scavenge for stuff, and then you bring it back down to expand your settlement essentially, and that's what you're doing. So it's like, okay, that's cool. Like it's I like that idea, and you can run into other players, but because it's not like faction based, it's just you're trying to help your settlement is like your objective. It's kind of like in that bit they had in the Last of Us multiplayer where it's like it was all surface level. It's like, oh, the idea is you're going out there to look for supplies and bring it back, and like your faction builds up, yada yada yada. This like little meta game you play. It doesn't just do anything, but like that's the lore of why there's multiplayer in that game. But this is like that's what you're doing. You're going out finding stuff. But again, because it's not faction, you don't have to fight other players. You could like team up. There's proximity chat and stuff like that. So it's like, hey, don't shoot. We're friendly. We're friendly. And then you'd be like, good to go there. So yeah, and it is crossplay. But yeah, I definitely want to pick it up and try that because you can just run solo. The one thing that's interesting to me that they're not doing is they're not doing server wipes, which is
Mm.
what most extraction shooters do. Because there is like a perk system in this, which is unique to this game versus other shooters or extraction shooters, where you can get skill points to be able to craft out in the open world on the fly, and the other things like maybe obviously carry more, maybe some other stuff, yada yada, this and that, which is interesting, to makes you more, efficient at the, looking for supply bit. But the only way to actually start over is, I guess, once you finish your settlement, like, you completely upgrade it and everything's all done, like, essentially you did, like, this story, quote, unquote, you could start again and do another settlement. But I don't think there's anything necessarily incentivizing that. Like, it's like prestiging in Call of Duty. Like in Call of Duty, when you prestige, you get like a number, an icon next to your rank, so people know like, oh, this person went to rank 100 and then they rolled back. And then like usually sometimes I think that's how you get like gold weapons and whatnot. And but there's no like bonus like, oh, you're starting again. Now you get like maybe there is. And maybe they're gonna work on it. Like maybe there'll be like you know, oh, now you get like better efficiency or you can loot faster or something because in the lore you've done it already, right? Like you help this settlement build up, get established, up and running, and now you're going to go help another settlement. It's like, okay, you should get like some sort of efficiency boost at doing that. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen anything at least saying that it's there. But I definitely, and the game's only $40. So I definitely want to pick it up. I was going to play it last night, but I ended up just I was painting one of my Tyranids for Warhammer. 'Cause like I painted so many vehicles recently, and I'm like, I gotta paint one of my big bugs to actually get those going. So I started that, and I'm almost done. I had a lot of fun painting this guy, but I realized like the problem I had with painting Tyranids is when you're doing vehicles for Space Marines, it's like your base coat is your color of your whatever faction you're doing. Blue for
Mhm.
Ultramarines, green for Salamanders, black for Black Templar, whatever. And then you just build off that. But usually for vehicles, it's like, and even the people, the units themselves, like, it's pretty much the bulk of the color that you're doing. So your base coat's done, that's, like, a huge percentage, and then you're just doing the highlights of, like, okay, for the vehicles, I'm doing silver for, like, all the metal bits, and I do black for the guns, and I do little highlights, and I do other things, and little gold for the skulls and the symbols and the blah, blah, blah. So it's, like, a much smaller process, unless you're, like, batch painting a bunch of Ultramarines, and then it's like, "Okay, now I gotta do the gold trim on every one of these guys and do all the weapons, and that could take a while." But for the carapace for the Tyranids, like, you don't base coat them in, like, the main color of the entire thing. It's like it's white, and then you build off that for the skin, but then the carapace pieces are all for my color scheme are all purple. But because you have to thin the paint down, you have to do, like, 3 or 4 coats of if depending on how thinned down you did your paint by mistake or not, to actually build up to that solid color, and it's like, that can just, like it could take like, it took me a couple hours just to get one guy done. Now granted, this is a big guy, so it's like the tank equivalent of the Tyranids, so it takes
Yeah.
me a long time to paint a tank, so I could have done a bunch of small guys in the same amount of time. Um, but it's just like that process of, yeah, just like, "Okay, here's the next coat. Now wait for that to dry. Now what else could I do while I wait for that to dry? I'll do some small details. Okay, now let's go back to that big thing again and put it back." It's like
Mhm.
that's the one part that kinda bugs me. It's like, I should have been doing maybe 2 models at the same time and not just 1. Uh, but yeah, I really enjoyed painting, and he's it's basically done. I just gotta I thought I bought this yellow a long time ago for, some eye colors for a couple of specific Tyranids, and I didn't, and I was like, "Damn it, I don't have this yellow." It's like, I could be done. All I need to do is, like, put in the yellow, and I don't have this one medium. I have, like, a contrast medium, but I don't have this Lamium medium, which is, like, a different medium used for non-contrast paints, I guess. I was like, "Damn it, I'm missing that." And then but I have everything else in it. I'm just missing that frickin' yellow. I have, like, a different yellow. I was like and then I was, like, looking for, I was like, "Oh, I need the black for the claws." And I was like, "Where the hell did I put my black?" And I was looking for it, and I was like, I bought another black, but I didn't wanna open it up, because I bought that when their store was going doing the retirement sale. And I was, like, looking around, I was like, "Where the hell's my black?" And then I couldn't I was having hell of a trouble finding it, like, on my thing, and I finally found it. And then I was looking for the same thing for, like, this contrast purple. I was like, "I know I have a contrast purple. Where is it?" And I bought, like, a second container for later, but I was like, "I know I have it." And I was like felt like I was gaslighting myself, like, "I can't find this fucking black and this purple, man." But luckily I found it. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that last night, and then, it's essentially done. I just gotta finish some details, do the base, but all I gotta do is the eyes and a couple highlights, and it'll be good. And then fix up, like, some minor stuff. So I did that last night because I was gonna play Arc Raiders, but I was like, "Nah, I'm gonna finish this bug. I gotta finish it."
A bug.
Yeah, watch some stuff, finish a bug. Then,
Mhm.
even though I still got 2 I gotta finish both my tanks, do all the highlights there, but yeah, I look forward to playing Arc Raiders. I think that'll be fun, and then, I don't know what I'm gonna play next because I was like I started the other day, I was like, "Okay, now I beat Alan Wake's DLC." It's like, "What am I gonna play on stream if I stream?" I'm like, "I have no idea." And then wasn't sure if my cousin was gonna play Borderlands, so I was like, "Okay, I'll just start a new game of Far Cry 5." 'Cause I like running around that world, it's just fun, especially when you turn off the UI and just, like, go around. Also, because, every time I play that game, I always play it in the order that the game suggests, like, do this region, then this one, like, like, oh, it's kinda like increase in difficulty as you go along, and I'm like, I kinda wanna do it the opposite. I wanna go, like, to the mountainous forest region first, get Cheeseburger the bear, and then be like, "Let's go,
Burger the
bud."
bear.
Hell yeah. It's like it's funny because like, yeah, when I play a game, like, I get Boomer the dog, and Boomer's a great dog, best boy, which is obviously true because they put him in Far Cry 6 as well. It's funny, he was like he was in a con you find him in a shipping container, and someone a note saying, uh, I forget why the dog got in the container, but they're like, "Yo, we found the dog in this container, we're bringing it to the island. We don't know how the dog got in here, but, yeah, anyways, I hope someone can take care of him, yada, yada." And it's like, then you get Boomer in Far Cry 6, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, like, I typically only ever use him because you get him, like, almost immediately in Far Cry 5, but I was like, "I kinda wanna get Cheeseburger and just go run around and kill stuff with the bear." But yeah, that game's just a lot of fun. I love going around that world. It's just a fun time, especially on PC. But yeah, hopefully I'll play Arc Raiders, and then hopefully my cousin picks it up as well because he's like he wants to play it, but I don't know he has, like, this trepidation because it's got PvP. He's like, "Well, I don't wanna not play it for a while and then have everybody be maxed out on stuff, but I feel like, have the best guns, yada, yada, this and that." But I'm like, I don't think it really matters for PvP because, like, in Gray Zone Warfare, I've played where, like, people have, tier 3 weapons and armor, but if you play it right, like, you could still beat those people with the base stuff. And I do like in Arc Raiders, they do this thing where when you go out, and I think I don't think Tarkov does something similar, but kind of like a lighter version of it. But if you don't want to take your own stuff, you could do like a randomized loadout, to where it'll just give you something. So like, oh, here's a shotgun, here's this thing, and then you can go out. That way, you don't have to do a run with all your gear, so you don't have that fear of losing out. But while I was painting the bug, I was watching MinMax had a video up where they were playing like three of the people from that crew. Were playing. I was kind of listening to that while they were going on. It was a lot of fun. Like anytime they'd come around, like open mics and be like, "Hey, we're friendly," like having fun together and just playing the game was a fun watch. But I like that I wasn't paying too much attention. So I'm not like familiarizing myself with the map. So I'm trying not to watch anybody because I
Mhm.
kind of want to go in as least information as possible if I play it. But yeah, hopefully I can play that before next weekend. At least I can talk about that because I feel like I can get a good amount of playtime for $40 out of that game, especially. Like I put a shit ton into Gray Zone Warfare. I can not a shit ton, only 145 hours, but a lot of
I
time in that
mean,
game.
that's kind of a shit
For
ton.
for
For
yeah, for a
adults, yeah.
for a parent of 2, yeah, how little game time I do have, yeah, it's very impressive. It's funny because like, I was thinking about the other day, like, I was like, "Man, a 50-hour game, like, back in the day, that's not that bad." That's like, like, depending on how long you play it, it's like maybe that's a game that takes you the work week, like, to get done because
Mhm.
you get home from work, you play the game for, like, 8 hours or something or, longer, and then it's like then you go to bed. It's like, "Man, that's really quick." Whereas, like, 50 hours now, I'm like, "Okay, maybe it's like 2 hours a night, that's 25 days." It'll take me a whole month, uh, if I only play after the kids go to bed, but yeah,
Mhm.
but yeah, anyways. Yeah, so hopefully I'll get on that, and then I don't know I know Isley finished Silent Hill F, and I was like, I did wanna pick that up so he could talk about it more, but, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's, pretty much it. Like I said, short episode because there wasn't a whole lot of news, and I haven't been playing too much, so I can't really speak to anything else. That yeah.
I just I have one new game that I've been playing, basically.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just Blue Protocol and Final Fantasy 14. So
Yeah,
I've
I still have a
been
bunch of stuff
I've
I
been
gotta play
spending a
too.
lot of time this week studying. So I try
Uh-huh.
very, very hard to not just play video games during my break at work or immediately when I come home. Of course,
Yeah.
I've been failing kind of miserably when I come home. I just play video games until I have to go to bed. But it's like that's pretty much the only time that I play things is on the weekend or after work because during the day I'm trying to study. I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be a competent human and not just I don't know. I've just come to the assumption that I'm just gonna sound like a crazy person for a week and a half while I'm in Japan, but it's
Yeah.
fine. I'm trying.
I did my best. I did my
Uh-huh.
best. Yeah.
I studied so much. I played so little video game.
Yeah, I played Ghost of Tsushima in the Kurosawa mode with Japanese audio only,
Oh god.
getting all prepped. Play Assassin's Creed that way. You can play Assassin's Creed that way, right? Shadow?
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah. But, uh, alright. Well, hopefully, hopefully Izzy plays some stuff while he's out. That way he can speak to some new things, next week as well. When are you gonna be out of town? Like, what this
Um,
year?
I leave on the 17th, so I don't know if I'll
Okay, so that's
be
okay.
available on the 16th. I might be getting ready, but
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
gone that Sunday. What was it like the
23rd.
23rd? Yeah, I'll be gone the
Yeah.
23rd.
That's fine. Okay, so at least we'll have next week, so you can speak more about Nissi. That's
Necesse. I don't know what
Necesse.
that is.
Yeah, however it's called. You can speak more to that, and then hopefully I can talk about Arc Raiders. But all right, well we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. So thank you all tuning and listening. Thank you, Zaya, for joining,
Mhm.
and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.